What's up? What's up? Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. This is such a special video because I had been talking about the power of forgiveness, the power of having a clean heart. And what we read, what we felt, what we recognized, what we had to honor, the true heartfelt tribute to Irv Gotti from Ashanti. Those of us who have kept up, or not even just keeping up with whatever tension, but those of us who have kept up just with Ashanti, her life, her progressions. Was it promised that this would be an easy road? Not at all. Because sometimes people's minds wander off. And sometimes people's minds themselves, who they are, what makes them them, minds don't always get back on track. And sometimes things can just go too far that it's like, wow, how do I find myself back? You can just be tormented before you know it. But there is a way. There is a way. I don't know if Irv Gotti was tormented or not. I don't know if he found himself that he just could not forgive. I don't know. We have no idea what those last days, that day, that very moment, down to the last seconds, to the bitter end. Life is so precious. But Ashanti, she gave love. She gave grace for the legacy that Irv Gotti built, for the years that they put in together, the work that they put in together, for us to have a moment such as this, to still listen to the music. We still listen to her music. We listen to the hits that Irv Gotti was a part of. Some of us, we listen to Ja Rule, J-Lo, Irv Gotti, the videos. We go back on, platforms, YouTube. We see him in the video. So we know it wasn't all bad. And Ashanti made that clear. She said that the good outshines the bad. When you can go there about somebody, but you can tell the way this woman been moving. When I say move, like, you can move in silence, and it's so powerful. Because if she was still carrying all the weights that Irv Gotti had spoken on her, she showed us something, y'all. That was a masterclass right there for some. Move on with your life to be where she is today. But don't you know, she had to put some work in, I'm sure, behind the scenes for her to get to that level, to let go. Because sometimes you got to go ahead and release those strongholds of unforgiveness. Sometimes those strongholds will weigh on your life so tough that you can't see yourself being married. Her and Nelly, they got back together. They made it official. Took them vows unto God. Sometimes you can be so bogged down, you cannot move on, to remain stuck because you still hashing, going over, chewing on, talking about, digesting the past. I know some past hurts may be greater than others. But a hurt is a hurt. And when you're hurt, don't you know that can turn into a wound before you know it? So maybe it was a light hurt, a push of some sort, just as an example. But you felt it, but it didn't what you call pierce your heart. But before you know it, because you keep thinking on that hurt, that light hurt, that offense will take root, and it will grow, and it will fester, and it will be magnified, and it will be just as big as a major hurt, a severity hurt, an open wound hurt. But hurt, it has to be nurtured. Nurture it with negativity that will continue to follow you as days continue. Eventually, when you go through that cycle, because there's cycles to this of unforgiveness, but eventually, once you go through that cycle and you on the level of that positivity, you recognize what's been done. But some people don't want to come back and say, I'm sorry, I apologize. Some people's just not going to do that. But you still got to find, where can I have these weights being lifted off of me? The internet was in a chokehold. What's Ashanti gonna say? What's Ashanti gonna talk about? Is she gonna say something? Well, she did. She posted, and it was well done. Do you agree? I think a lot of people that may have written her and Nelly off, saying, you cancel, how dare you? But this woman has been nothing but consistent of a class act. Those who wrote her off because of Nelly's inaugural performance. Everyone has a right to think how they want to think. Everyone has a right to want to withhold unforgiveness. Everybody has a right to move how you move. But it's only so much that the human mind, the body, the soul, the inner man can handle. Forgiveness is so powerful. And when you know that you truly forgive somebody for any wrongdoings, it's a release. It's a release. Now, some people, fine. Is anybody saying go back, be buddy when you're going through the process of forgiving someone? Like it's gonna be like it once was before? Not always. Sometimes it might even make the relation stronger once that forgiveness is sealed. But it has to be 2 willing, 3 willing, 4, however many people involved, participants, that's truly done had a changed heart. And it's signs and wonders that follow with that. And those who cannot seem to move on and forgive, you never know. Their day still might be coming. And again, we don't know what Irv Gotti's, up until the moment, at that very moment, what was going through his mind. Or the day before, we don't know. But what we do know, tomorrow is not promised. And what we saw with Ashanti, that's a true human being. And that was an example of forgiveness.